viewers, Rectangular back, this time with another Marvel Legends review. This is actually not a Marvel Legend. This is actually a knockoff of the Fantastic Four Classics Dragon Man. And this was, the original Dragon Man was made by Toy Biz years ago. And I'm not going to go into a real in-depth review on this. Basically, I'm just going an overview of the figure because it is a knockoff in case you are on the fence about wanting to purchase it. If you want an actual detailed review, I will put a link to the review that my friend Solid did years ago, I think back in 2011. So definitely go check that out. Excuse me. This figure is almost identical to that. Obviously, that's the whole point of it. The only difference I can really tell is the shading, the paint shading on the figure. Obviously, the joints are not going to be nearly as tight as that figure that was brand new out of the package when it was originally released. But really, it's extremely hard to tell the difference between this and the authentic version. I think if you walked into a room and you owned this figure, or you owned the original, you would have a hard time being able to tell if it was just sitting on the shelf that this is a knockoff. You would have to probably put them both side by side and compare the two to be able to notice the difference in the paint. The sculpt is identical, and I think, for the most part, they are identical, with the exception of, like I said, the shading. But here, we've got a 360 view of the figure. It's an extremely well sculpted figure, and actually the paint on it is pretty damn nice as well. A lot of different shading on the wings, on the tail, and the back. The face has got some shading. There's not quite, I think where it's most noticeable, the missing shading is on the arms and the legs in particular. But if you've got some painting skills, you could definitely make this figure pop even more. Now, I got this from a seller on eBay from China, and the starting bid, I haven't seen them do any buy it now listings. It's all been starting bids, and the starting bid is at $99. So you're going to pay minimum $100 plus, well, there's no shipping, so that's $100 with free shipping. And I've seen them go for close to $300, but that's cheap compared to the original out of the package. You're going to pay probably a minimum of $300, and they go way up from there. In the package, you're looking at probably $500 and up, more in the $700 range. So definitely worth picking up if you don't have a Dragon Man in your collection. I know a lot of people have used Hulk figures or Abomination figures that they've modified with wings from Annihilus. But for the money, this for me at least is a nice way to round out my collection. The joints on this are fairly tight, not super tight, but I would not classify them as loose. So the figure can pose really nice, maintains all the poses that the original could do. The major inadequacy of this figure which is the same as the original, is a lack of swivel at the forearm or wrist. You only have that hinge, and it can hinge forward, can't hinge outward. So that would be nice if it had a wrist swivel. If you were able to get one of these for cheap, I would recommend it and modify it to be able to do that, but the likelihood of finding one for cheap is probably not very high. Also no ab crunch, which I don't have a problem with, because I think if it had an ab crunch, the figure would have a hard time standing upright because of the weight of the upper body and the wings, especially. It's quite heavy with the wings, so that would just crunch forward, and it would not look good. But yeah, it'll be really interesting to see. I think if Hasbro does give this character, that they're going to have to do it as a Build-A-Figure or as like an exclusive of some kind, because if they were to just use like a Hulk body, it's really not going to carry the same impact that this figure does with all the unique sculpting. But who knows? The Rhino Build-A-Figure, that they used for Abomination, that could probably work with a modified torso for wings. The problem with this figure is it's supposed to be, in the comics, he's supposed to be 13 inches, or I'm sorry, 13 feet tall, actually 15 feet tall. So this is actually a pretty short version. He has appeared in the comics this small, where they have him like sitting on a couch in like Avengers Mansion or Fantastic Four headquarters, but most of the time he's pretty damn big, so they really should make him 15 feet tall like he is in the comics, if you ask me. Here we have the figure with some Fantastic Four characters, and I want to showcase the head I got from Craig Warwick. Really, really awesome sculpt that he made, and really well painted. It's a little bit more orange or red than I would like for the hair, so I'm gonna lighten the hair a little bit on this guy, but otherwise it's really cool. It's great to have something that Craig made himself. Huge fan of his work, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting the Thing from Walgreens. This is the Toy Biz 4-pack version of the Thing, which is still a good figure, especially for how old it is. But I also have the Fantastic Four Classics Thunder Launch Thing, which is my favorite one. I actually have two of them, but I couldn't find where they are. I have a lot of figures in storage bins right now. I'm trying to do a lot of reorganizing. But yeah, it just gives you an idea of how big the Dragon Man is in comparison. And like I said, I think Dragon Man should be significantly taller. There was a scene from the comics where he's holding Captain America in his hand. Captain America's like the size of a baby in his hand. So he should be significantly bigger than this guy. But I'm still very happy to get him. And yeah, I'm looking forward to finally doing some ACBA, and I can't remember if we've ever seen Dragon Man in an ACBA setup, so hopefully I can do him justice. Alright, with that, hopefully you guys like the video, you share with your friends, subscribe if you haven't already, and I always love hearing back from you guys, so please leave a comment below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later.